So today we are meeting to discuss MES implementation, journey and lessons learned. As well as we all know, implementing a MES can generate a lot of value for our organization, but it can also present numerous challenges. So please welcome Daniel Batista from our professional services team. Daniel has long experience in deploying complex projects, and he will be sharing his lessons learned with you today. Daniel, over to you.
Thank you so much, Magali, for introduction. So hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for all of you. So nice to meet you. And my name is Daniel Batista. So I belong to the professional service organization in GE Vernova Manufacturing. So I have more than 25 years experience helping our customers to use the best of our products. So let's talk today about the customer success journey and also about some best practices that GE Vernova have implemented to deliver the best for our customers, and also some lesson learned. So some learns based on our experience that I'd like to share with you, and then help on your digital transformation for manufacturing solutions. And in the end, so then we have questions and answers following what Magali presented before. So you can post your question that in the end we will answer those. So let's start from the customer success journey. So GE Vernova, in our organization, we have the customer success. The customer success organization belongs to two main pillars: the customer success manager and the professional services. So we are the actors that take our customer from the day that they buy our solution. We help them to go through the whole way to make sure that what they bought will fit for what they need, based on our product capabilities and based on what their manufacturing needs. So, and then we take the customer from all phases of a digital implementation. So we're starting from aligning the outcome of what the customer needs. We're helping them on the development and implementation plan, with trainings, also with the go live. That is the most important milestone when we are implementing a digital solution in the manufacturing. So then to ensure that this go live is bringing all the value that was required, but also is bringing less as possible impact for the daily work in the production level. And after go live as well, so then we keep supporting the customer in their success journey to ensure that the outcomes that were mapped in the beginning, they are matching, if they are really bringing value to the metrics and the KPIs we have defined to track our implementation. Also with adoption, to make sure that the operation are using the best of our solution. And of course, we also help with support, so then we can provide application support on the different levels to ensure that the operation we will run with safe and a good performance of our solution. Now talking a bit more about professional services, that is the organization I belong and where I would like to share with you today some best practices and lesson learned. So in the professional services delivery journey, so we help our customer to implement technically the solution based on their requirement. And in GE Vernova, we have a very strong delivery methodology based on our many years experience and with our global presence. So then we deliver it to the customer the solution based on a same and a standard way that makes sure that we are standardized on our delivery, but also we learn with the journey and we can always improve and keep the looping of a continuous improvement for our delivery methodology. And our delivery methodology goes in all the phases of a project, so from the initiation discovery, for the execution delivery, and also for the validation and go live. And of course, in all these phases, we keep a very strong monitoring control to ensure that we have a transparent planning with our customer, with a delivery report, with the scope management to ensure that everything that are required are being implemented and validated. We also collecting the risk and the issues to make sure all of them are mitigated. And of course, the usual project health and financial are being monitored in the entire process of our delivery. And the last but not least, so for all phases, we keep a connection with all stakeholders in our customer to have from them feedbacks and customer surveys that we can measure the customer satisfaction and ensure that where we have opportunities to improve, we do it. So now I would like to go more in the different phases and share some best practices, starting from the initiation and discovery. And one important topic that we in GE Vernova, we have worked a lot to improve and make sure we have a scope alignment in the beginning, and we do it with a design phase. So, and as part of our solution design, it's very important that we have a clear understanding of what the customer needs, and also the customer understand what are the capabilities of our product. And that with that we can define the scope. And since the beginning, we go to a journey knowing what we will implement. And then the discussion need to be more on how, but what is being identified since the beginning. And with this understanding of what we need since the beginning, we are able to define some baseline for efforts, for cost that can be tracking during the project delivery with a more efficient way. And together with the risks that can be measured, and we can monitor the mitigation of those during the implementation. And all these things are topics that we can identify in the beginning as a part of solution design. And as you have seen in the previous slide, so then we in GE Vernova, we work also with agile delivery, and in the discovery and design phase, we can create a structured backlog of the solution that can be organized to be implemented in sprints. That what agile provide as a way of work. The traceability and requirements delivery together with this way to collect all the requirements since the beginning, so then we can create a traceability matrix that during the implementation we can be checking what was already implemented, what was already delivered and ready to work. And this brings more transparency and also bring more visibility and prediction to the customer and also to GE Vernova on how far we are to be ready for go live. Also, in the solution design phase, it's very important that we have a clear acceptance criteria. So not only the requirements be collected, but also what are the acceptance criteria that permits this functionality to work in the hack path and also alternative paths. So then, how the operation works. So then understand how the business process works, that we can not only identify what are the functionalities the solution needs, but also what are the success criteria that require us to that functionality work in a hack path and alternative path. Stakeholders alignment and approval. So it's very important that we involve the right people in the solution design phase, that all of them can bring contributions and also bring their expertise, because in the end of the day, the solution will be done for that specific customer, and our products are flexible to fit for what they need. But it's important that we receive this information, and how more people come to give their contribution and approval, better it is to start right since the beginning. Also for the documentation itself, so then as part of GE Vernova delivery, so then we provide to our customer the design documentation, not only for the implementation and go live, but also for after go live. So then when you start to create your own knowledge base for the solution that GE Vernova have delivered, so that you can work alone for supporting, for enhancements and all these things that that are related to the solution after go live. Our customer can count on all documentation that GE Vernova create during the delivery journey. So those are the some of delivery best practices that we'd like to share with you today related to solution design. That is the beginning of the journey and very important to start it well to ensure that the remaining phase of the project goes smoothly for a success delivery. So now talking about the program plan development and deployment execution phases. So for those, so then one important process that we have in our methodology is the hybrid agile delivery. So then we know that more and more the market is demanding to be agile for all the benefits of agile in terms of incremental delivery and quick results. And GE Vernova has a consolidated hybrid agile way, and we see that this hybrid agile. And for you that knows what is agile and hybrid agile, so then we need a difference because the classic agile is more oriented to product, where we have a more flexible timeline and scope. And different from services that since the beginning the customer knows what they want, and also they have a limited time for when the solution should be executed. For this reason, for services, we have a hybrid agile where we can incorporate in our process some controls that we can monitor the time, the scope, and the budget in a way that we can have a predictable planning and resource allocation, but we can keep the benefits of the agile with incremental delivery and integrating all the documentation of what we have delivered and strong traceability, so that to cross-check what we have designed in the previous phase are being implemented in the program plan development and deployment execution phase. Also, in this hybrid agile, we have the test-driven since the design, because as I mentioned before, as part of the design, we are creating the backlog with what the customer needs in terms of requirement, but also the acceptance criteria, so that we use these to create test cases that we can start the validation of the solution since the implementation, since the development. And this brings us much more confidence for what we are going to deliver to our customer in their environments and for go live. So that are some best practices for the program plan development and deployment execution phase, so that are based on a hybrid agile delivery. So now talking about go live, post-implementation warranty and application support. So then the best practice that we'd like to share with you today is late automated testing. So automated testing is a very known approach in the software market, and in GE Vernova we use it as well for quality assurance, where we can improve the test reliability and accuracy with a fast feedback cycles, because when we have automated testing running frequently during the night or when we need, where we can count it by computers, is much more fast, and we can receive a quick feedback for the development and implementation team to ensure what's happening and in case of any regression or in case of any defect that the solution has can be identified much earlier, becomes a problem for the production, for this customer operation. In this, with automated testing, we reduce the testing cost because we reduce the manual test done by humans, and this we can be much more efficient in terms of number of test cases. The test coverage is wider because since it's running much more faster than a manual test, we can incorporate much more scenarios to run frequently. And as I have said before, so then we can have this early detection, even for integration. So one of the critical paths for MES implementation, for example, are the ERP or any other third-party system integration to our solution, and be able to implement automated testing, simulating the ERP or any other third-party system during the implementation phase. This brings much more robustness than when we go live. The solution is much more confident to run with less risk for defects during the go live or even after go live. So also the automated testing are very valuable for smoke and verification tests. So then when we are in the post implementation or production running, so the solution are constantly changed by enhancements based on the customer continuous improvement. But also we have our product new patches released for security, for any other reason. We can verify and check if this new release of the solution are running okay before we install in production. So we can use automated testing for a smoke test and verification test as well. So this again bringing much more confidence for the solution that are running production, reducing the impacts for the operation when using our solution. So these are the best practices that I had to share today with you related to to go live, post implementation warranty and application support. That is related to automated testing for quality assurance and make sure you have a smoothly go live and also your operation is running safely with our solution. So now we talk about these three phases of the customer success journey. I would like also to share with you today some lessons learned. So some topics that we learned with our experience and that I'd like to share with you today, that you can improve your operation, and you can always count on GE Vernova to help you. Starting from the scope and alignment, as we have discussed about the best practices over solution design. As lesson learned for the design phase, it is important to make sure the right people are involved in the discussion and decisions for the solution design. So as I have mentioned before, so it's important that different levels of the operation are involved when we are doing design. So not only IT people, not only business analyst people, but also the operation, so key users. So all these stakeholders is important to be defined when you are starting the design of your solution, to make sure all aspects of your needs are being discussed, that our GE Vernova product suite can make sure we are covering all of them. However, when we are bringing too many people to discuss, we will have many opinions and sometimes some blocking for decision. For this reason, it's important that since the beginning, it's to define an owner of the design that will take decisions in case we have topics with multiple opinions. So it's important that to have more people as possible in the different parts of the organization to contribute but one single person should be defined as the owner in case we have a debate. So this owner is the one to take the decision on which direction we go. And this is very important, otherwise we became in a loop of this design discussion and we never finish. And it's important that we have a strong design, but we cannot lose the focus of the implementation plan. And also, a lot of times during the solution design, we deviate the focus and we start to think about many other aspects of the operation, and we lose the focus of the main goal of the design phase. And it's important that you always push the stakeholders that the focus of the design phase is to discuss and define what. So what are the capabilities and the requirement the solution should have, and the acceptance criteria for those. So the how it will be implemented. So it's in another phase that we call this detailed design specification, the DDS, because there we have the developers. So how it will be implemented is much better to have the development team together, because they know much more the technology behind and they can define the best way to do. And we should leave the design for what. Also, as I have mentioned before, the ERP and external system integration are critical. So then it's really important to give the proper time and attention for the design and involve the right experts, that we can make sure all the aspects of this integration are being discussed and covered on the design specification. So those are the lessons learned for the design phase. Now going for the program plan development and deployment execution. So we discussed about Harvard Agile delivery. So it's important to make sure the right stakeholder participate on these increment releases of Agile that we call sprints, and they participate also on the demo session. So where the implementation team will present what have been implemented, and then make sure that we have this approval for the increment that will be released. Also make sure only features with a clear design are assigned to a sprint scope, because it's in Agile delivery, one of the critical path is if you do not have items for the future sprints in terms of be ready to work. So that we call definition of red. So then it's important that you always monitor the backlog to ensure that all the things that are planned for future sprints are well designed. We have how should be implemented, the detailed design, and also we have all the success criteria that the implementation team, the development team can take it for implementation. And the third one is to make sure only fully tested and validated features are demoed and delivered to the customer in the end of the sprint. So it's really important that you validate in the development level what you have done, and make sure and present it to relevant stakeholders to make sure this is approved. So this is matching of the success criteria and the requirement design before you give it to the operation to work. This minimizes the risk for any defect found by the operation team. And then now talking about go live, post-implementation warranty, and application support, we discuss about automated testing. And so again, make sure the right stakeholders participate on the test scenario definition. So the automated test is based on a test plan that include many scenarios, and those scenarios should be created by people that knows the operation and knows the solution. So because they can cover the different ways that the solution can behave, and then make sure it is working fine. So also to include end-to-end scenarios that involve the different process of the production, the real life production, because then we can really simulate the automated testing with a real process that the solution will work. and also leverage on the automated test after go live as well. So not only when we are in the go live phase, but also after, because you can use the test cases and the scenarios created when you were developing the solution, you can create it to run as regression tests, as I have said before. So after go live, we keep maintaining the solution and changing with enhancements and implementation of new functionalities, and the automated test can use it to ensure that anything that is changing in the environment are not damaging or breaking what was working before. So these are the lessons learned that I had to share with you, but just one thing that you may have noticed, that for all the three, we have the make sure to involve the right stakeholders. So manufacturing solutions, in my personal opinion, are 30% technology and 70% are people, are change management. So we must involve the right people since the beginning in order that we can have the adoption, and also that we can discuss all the aspects of where our solution will be running. So manufacturing solutions are complex, not only because of technology, but much because we are impacting the process and the way the production are flowing. So it's really important that you make sure that the right people are being involved since in the beginning. So that are my slides for today. So then I think we are sharp on time, but if you have any question, we can take it now.
Yes, we thank you very much, Daniel, for this presentation. So yeah, you can ask your question in the chat. I have one or two already that we'll try to cover quickly. So from your experience, what are some critical lessons learned about stakeholder involvement during design and implementation phases, and how these lessons influence project outcome?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. And as I just mentioned, so to ensure that we have the right stakeholders since the beginning, it's really important to ensure that we have the adoption. But we have some examples. So if you do not that impact the outcome, for example, the key users. So if they are not, if you leave the key users to be involved on the solution implementation only in the end, when we will start to validate, you may lose the opportunity to implement some capabilities and feature in the solution that really solve their problem, because the key users are the one that we operate and we use the solution on a daily basis. And if they are not involved since the beginning, you might lose a lot of opportunities to make your solution much stronger.
Okay, thank you. And another question, can you elaborate more on how automated testing works?
Yes, sure. So the automated testing, so it's a combination of tools that you simulate your solution running automatically and for a specific process. So then you define a baseline master data and then that you expect the solution to run a specific scenario with an expected outcome. So then we use in GE Vernova some tools from the market to do it. And if you'd like to learn more about how GE implement automated testing, I really invited you to go to last year Coffee with Expert, where we have presented automated test for quality assurance and the benefits. So then I think the link we can put in the chat as well, that you can you are more invited to go there, and if you have your own question, you can come to us.
Okay, great. So thank you very much, Daniel, and thank you very much, everybody, for your participation. We will share the recording of this session by email, so you can replay it or share it with your colleagues. And also feel free to reach out to myself or to Cataldo, whose email is on the screen, if you have questions for our colleagues and our experts. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.